are very pleased. The Construction Center of Excellence is a resource for education, K-20, and the construction industry statewide. So we're thrilled to be able to come over to the east side and host an event over here to kind of give some resources and tools and information about the apprenticeship system. So this is Tom Tanner. He's the business manager here at Local 14, and he's going to talk for a couple minutes about this facility.
Well, welcome to Spokane, or you guys from Spokane, but welcome to the Ironworkers facility. But I want to thank everybody for coming. This is the Ironworkers facility. Our Ironworkers duty jurisdiction goes from Ellensburg, Washington, to Missoula, Montana, then all the way down to Weiser, Idaho, to the Canadian border. So that's the geographic area that we cover. We've got about 404 journeymen and 82 apprentices. So we've got a large group of guys that we try to service and maintain employment with. It's full-time job. We've got an office in the Tri-Cities, an office in Missoula, and then our main hub is here. So that's what we do, or that's what area we cover. What we're looking for when we're looking for new applicants is we're not looking for the kids that aren't college material. We're looking for your best and brightest, because with today's technology and the amount of money that's being paid to journeyman ironworkers, $54 an hour total package, we need the guys that are on top of everything. We don't need the guys that couldn't make it here, that make it there, and gals. So many of my colleagues have went on to be superintendents of major projects. Some even own companies. So welcome. Hope you enjoy your day. Thank you.
I'm Rebecca Rhodes. I'm with Spokane Community College. How many of you know Spokane Community College? How many of you know that Spokane Community College partners with apprenticeship programs so students can get their apprenticeship training, a career, and their degree? Well, now the rest of you do. So how many of you know you can get a degree and your apprenticeship? Okay? So this is a big deal when you're talking with parents, because we know everyone thinks that a college degree is the best thing you can do, right? Do you know apprenticeships often referred to as the original 4-year degree? And how much student debt does the average apprentice earn in their apprenticeship program? Anybody know? How much? Zero. How much are your other students earning in debt when they're going on to school? These are great, great options, and you're going to get a chance today to see a lot of different trades that do a lot of different things. So one of the things I want to encourage you to look at is there's a lot of variety. Apprenticeship is not just one thing. You're going to see what the ironworkers do. You're going to see what the electricians do. You're going to see what the pipe fitters do. You've got Tawny from the laborers here. You've got the carpenters here. There's a lot of variety within the apprenticeship programs. This is a great, great opportunity for your students as they're finishing high school. I was fortunate to be at a meeting in California just a couple weeks ago and met a recent journeyman from the Las Vegas, Nevada area who had gone into the electricians program immediately after high school. He's now 23 years old, earning about $38 an hour plus full benefits, just got married, bought his first house, and is being promoted to foreman on a job site and supervising other workers that are about twice his age. So there's a lot of options, like you've told about. You can start out with apprenticeship and lots of ways to go. So really take it all in today. Ask the coordinators lots of questions. They're wonderful folks. I've had the pleasure of working with a lot of them for over the last 15 years. They're really here to help your students and help you learn about it. So again, welcome to Pathways to Apprenticeship. And just be thinking today, when you leave today, I think everyone should have at least 1 or 2 students in their mind that you want to tell about apprenticeship, that you know something's gonna hit with you today and you're gonna realize this is a perfect opportunity for so-and-so. So please be thinking about those specific students that you want to share this information with when you get back to your schools. So thank you.
So with that, I'd like to introduce Jody Robbins. He's from the apprenticeship section of Labor and Industries, and he's going to give you an Apprenticeship 101.
Yep. Thank you very much, Shana. Welcome, everyone. I am with the Department of Labor and Industries. As Shana mentioned, I'm the technical specialist. I have to say that my pathway to get to the Department of Labor and Industries came through apprenticeship in kind of a roundabout way. And what I found out when I got here and I started looking at the system as a whole and who all comes in to the apprenticeship system, I found that I was a pretty average statistic. I became an apprentice at age 27. The average age at that time was, I think, 28, 29. It's still hovering around there now today. It's coming down a little bit. The new cohort coming in is pulling that age down a little bit. but it's still 26, 27 years old is the average age of an apprentice when we register them in the system. So there's still a big disconnect out there, right? And you folks are here to hopefully help us close that loop a little bit. So when you see we have 7,500 employers across the state of Washington engaged in training apprentices, we call that training agreement a standards of apprenticeship document. It's actually a legally binding contract that binds the employer, the sponsor of apprenticeship, and the apprentice. They all have stake in the game, and that standard of apprenticeship defines what that experience is going to be like, including wage progression and schooling. So right now, we've got over 10,000 apprentices in our system, right? That's if you equate that to a 4-year school, that's a good size. That's a good size 4-year school, right? So there are absolutely opportunities in this system. If there's no job, there's no apprentice. There has to be a job to have an apprenticeship, right? So the apprentice is typically working full-time and then has a school requirement. The length is determined by the complexity of the occupation. So we have a minimum in Washington State, and the average length of our programs in Washington is about 4 years, or 44 months. So, and they're all of these programs too. When you complete, you get your journey level credential. You're not done, and it goes back to keeping yourself viable in the industry. You have to come back. All of these programs have a continuing education component because they know once they're done training the apprentice, they have to keep their journey level workforce up to date on new technologies, new processes that are coming into the marketplace. So you're always seeing continuing education affiliated with these programs. Okay, and here we go into the wages, because kids want to know, show me the money, right? Show me the money. So I put up the latest workforce board stats, and I always ask this question. So when we run the numbers, apprentice completers are making a median, that's a median wage, of $58,907 a year. That's pretty decent money. If you have any, and I'll just give a plug to young women that want to maybe go into construction or some non-traditional occupations, women in the trades. That's really the big push. And there are some fantastic programs going on the east side. You really are the leaders over here. Have you heard of Magic Camp, mentoring a girl in construction? I know they've run them several in the Tri-Cities area. I don't know if they've run them in the Spokane area yet. And I think if you had a young woman that was interested, a lot of these programs have ways to expedite them into their apprenticeship programs. At the end of the day, with apprenticeship, this is one of the most powerful aspects of this system, is that you have a nationally transferable credential. You got a nationally recognized transferable credential. So apprenticeship is like Harvard, right? It is very competitive. The end of the line, it's very competitive to get in. And when you're talking about an industry scholarship that can vary between $10,000 to $60,000 over a 3 or 4 year period, that's what the industry is going to invest in you. There's going to be competition for those opportunities. There absolutely is. So they got to be prepared, they got to do their homework, and they got to be persistent. And with that, I think I've run over my time a little bit, so I'm gonna step down. But thank you very much for your time.